Hi everybody, I'm Peter Millard and this is 10 Minute Workshop, where 10 minutes in the workshop is never 10 minutes, it's never 10 minutes wasted. There's a story about that. I'll come back to it after the jingle. So yeah, 10 minutes in the workshop is never 10 minutes wasted. I had a fantastic comment from a subscriber, and I've only got his username, I'm sorry, I assume it's a he, MKRM27. He said 10 minutes in the workshop is never actually 10 minutes. Honestly, that works so well on so many levels. I wish I'd thought of it myself, and I've got to thank him. A huge shout out to him again. I think it's to him to say thank you for letting me use that. That is just absolutely brilliant. Don't forget, if you've got any comments, any questions, any suggestions, any feedback, whether it's complimentary or critical, put it down in the comments below the relevant video and I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. We've had a bit of an explosion of interest on the channel. It's really grown spectacularly since I put my Festool versus Cheap Tool video out, particularly. I don't know if it counts as viral if it only gets 50 odd thousand hits, but you know, for a small channel like me, it's viral enough, let's put it that way. Welcome everybody if you're here. I went away on holiday, I had 6,000 subscribers, I hit 7,000, now 8,000, now I'm back, which is absolutely fantastic. We also passed a bit of a milestone while I was away. We actually had 2 million minutes of video watched. Absolutely fantastic, really. A tremendous performance from everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Well, I'll come back to a ton of work. There's an awful lot of work going to be going through the workshop soon. And I'm at that sort of lull before the storm kind of thing at the moment. So what I'm going to do for this week's video is start a series that I'll continue. It'll be an infrequent thing. They'll pop up periodically, but not on a regular Tuesday or whatever. And it's talking about the toolboxes I use, the Systainers. It's going to be called What's in the Box, and I'm just going to go through each set of Systainers to show you what's in there. Get an awful lot of questions, awful lot of comments from people asking me, what are they for? You see the sort of stuff I take with me when I do installs and that sort of thing. And I just thought it might be worth going through how I organise the tools in their various sections. And the one I'm going to do first is the one that goes with me everywhere. It's one of two that go with me everywhere, and this is one that I bring back with me every night as well. And it's my drill case. So back when I was a relatively new Festool user, I started using Systainers for all my tools, and I made myself a little set of inserts to carry my sort of hand tools and all those sorts of things. And they did really well, these boxes. I had pretty much everything I needed in these two little inserts. The bigger, heavier duty tools that weren't used so much stay back in the Systainer. I had all the sort of general purpose hand tools that I needed, including my little Bosch 10.8 drill drivers. And as I say, the whole system worked really nicely. Right up to the point when I bought this little guy. This is the Festool CXS. It's a 10.8 volt drill driver. Again, great design. I really liked it. Has a belt clip built into it, which the others didn't. In fact, the only sort of disappointment with it was that because of the shape of it, it just didn't fit into my inserts. So I guess the only practical thing that you can do, I started keeping the drills and drivers in a separate box, a separate case drill box. And of course you can't just have a drill driver, you've got to have bits and accessories and other odds and ends. And these boxes gradually grew and grew until we get to what we have now. So when I started off, I was using a Sys 1, and now we're gone through a Sys 2, we're into a Sys 3. I'm still using classic Systainers for these because I've got them and they work very well and they're absolutely fine. So let's open it up and see what's in the box. Now, one of the first things you'll notice is that we've got a variety of different tools in here, as well as a couple of drills. We've got the big PDC, a good impact drill, and we've got the little CXS, excellent drill driver. Here's one of those, little pin hammer for tapping in plugs. We've got the angled bit attachment for the CXS. Got a couple of bit holders, box of little Bosch brad point drill bits. Have you noticed there's always one missing wherever you do? I've got a set of spade bits. Again, the Bosch, these Bosch fast drilling ones are really good. Spare battery for the CXS. Little set of Nipex grips. And a few assorted plugs and bits and pieces in there. In this side we've got a combi square, sliding square. Oops. A couple of tiny little clamps. A little 6-inch digital level. The one thing about the PDC when it's on hammer is it is incredibly loud. I mean, almost unbelievably loud. So a spare set of ear defenders in there as well. And these are an interesting little thing. They're they're actually designed for electricians. So they've got insulated handles. You've got little grippy bits to compress crimps, and you've actually got wire strippers in the middle there, and made in Britain as well. And then in the centre here, we've got a lift out general purpose section. We'll come back to that actually, we'll clear the decks a little bit. In here we've got a spare battery, spare 18 volt for the big drill, and in here we've got the general sort of purpose bits, set of full spade bits, some odd sort of brad point bits, masonry bits, sort of ceramic tile drill bits as well, the sort of specialist occasional drill bits. And one of the things I have is a little batten, little bit of wood glued to the inside of the lid, which has the general sort of 3, 4, 5, 6 mil festal bits in there, as well as the obligatory brad awl, a couple of different bits, the countersink and that sort of thing. Really handy to have them there on the lid. Now it's in this middle sort of centre section that the usefulness of having audio drills in Sys3 comes into being, because this contains all the little odds and ends. I've got a couple of sort of regular screwdrivers, also a Torx T20. If you've ever done a kitchen, you'll know how miserable life can be if you can't lay your hands on a T20 Torx. A couple of little electrical things. You're going to but you're going to come across things that you want to make sure are live or not. So a little fluke contactless tester is well worth having, and a little general purpose 4mm electrical screwdriver. I keep one of these little guys around. These are fantastic. This is a little Blue Point 1/4-inch hex drive ratchet, but with just like a regular Phillips bit head in it, or a posi. And that, sometimes you need to drive a screw in and there just isn't space to get something in there. That can just get in just the tiniest of spaces, and you can just ratchet it in one flat at a time. It's got me out of a scrape many times, that has. In here we've got our little Festool coloured boxes. Which contain all kinds of goodies. In this central one, it has a little set of sockets. The drive for it is in the batten in the lid of the Systainer there. The usual kind of stuff, little cat's paw. I've got my folding Japanese pull saw, which is absolutely fantastic. There's also some spare little sort of keyhole blade for that in there as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Little disposable brush, odds and ends. I don't know what size that is. A big sort of ugly Irwin Blue Point, I think they call them. Auger bits. Just the bigger, rougher sort of things that don't get used that much, to be honest, go in that centre section over there. And then we just keep the other bits and pieces tidy as we can. A couple of little sort of stubby screwdrivers. Some of the more specialist multi-purpose drill bits. A couple of odds and ends, nail punches, bits and bobs, spare bit holders, that kind of stuff. An occasional long, thin drill bit, which is handy. And then the spare sort of Jacob's chucks for the other drills, as well as my sort of plug and cutter set, and just general sort of odds and ends, bits and pieces. in there. And then on the red side, you've got the bit box with Torx bits and things, a set of hex keys, and then in the two little red ones we've got some sort of assorted general bits of screws and plugs and picture hanging odds and ends and all that sort of stuff. And in here we've just got this divided between some sort of tongue tight, lost type screws, which are always handy to have, and some of the regular sort of hinge screws and that sort of thing. I feel them in the wrong container. And also at the end here we've got a set of hex drives, hex bits, some spare blades for the styling knife, spare, what shall we call it, jig, that's the word, spare jig for the bloom hinges, and a set of Festool stubby drill bits. These are fantastic, much like using the little blue point ratchet spanner to get sort of the odd screw into awkward places. These little stubby drill bits are absolutely brilliant for drilling a hole into awkward restricted spaces as well. Got me out of a scrape a couple of times. Now, one of the things that you might notice is missing are chargers. I don't generally carry a charger with me. Typically for the kind of work I do on the installs that I do, if I can't do it with a single battery and a spare, then, you know, I'm probably not working hard enough. It's kind of as simple as that. I do have another couple of drills, a drill and a driver that I keep with me, because, you know, you can't have too many basically. So between them and the spare batteries, generally speaking, during the course of a day, I don't find that I need to charge anything too badly. Well, that's it for this week's 10-minute workshop tour. I hope you found the Toolbox tour interesting. I'm always interested in how other guys store their tools and how they organise things, so hopefully you've picked up something from this which you can apply to your own tool organisation. If you have, give it a thumbs up, share it out amongst your friends, and please do consider subscribing. Then you'll be notified whenever I put up something new. But for this week, in the 10-minute workshop, where 10 minutes in the workshop is never actually 10 minutes, I'll see you next time. Take care.